Hello and welcome back to my RP1 campaign with launch complexes. We are inching ever closer towards human spaceflight. We're building the test article and then we're going to actually fly the real one. Each of these take a super long time to build, but meanwhile we can fly a geostationary. Oh no, we're not flying a geostationary mission, right? We've got to wait. Got to wait a while. Um. What else do I want to build there? Okay, so I think what I want to do is kill that and hey, Aerodride. The original XCOM is a game that I would have liked playing at the time, but I never actually got it back at the time. So sadly, no, I have not actually played the original. How does launch complexes remind you of XCOM? Anyway, so I'm gonna let that build out, and then I'm gonna modify this launch complex and have a higher mass so we can have a boosted Titan. That may be what we need to go interplanetary. Oh, the staffing model? Yeah, I mean the staffing model is like pretty standard across a bunch of these kind of games. You know, honestly, XCOM 2012 sort of has it too. Meanwhile, we can rob some staff from here. So it's a reworking of how much of KCT works, given that it's no longer even called KCT. Some of the concepts are the same, but there's a bunch that's different. I need to fix plans. You know, Mr. Bond. Alright, so pretty soon we're gonna start upgrading this thing. perfect. So that'll complete, and we'll start modifying the launch complex and building interplanetary comms. And we'll be able to think about a Venus mission. Meanwhile, let's look at what a Venus mission might be. Final orbit. Flyby probe only. Not too bad. 3.5 camsec. Long time from now. Meanwhile, this window, yeah, that's the historic Mariner window. Yeah, it's about the same cost, so sure, we'll do the... Let's compare. 125, so that's a little shorter travel time. Costs a hair more. So sure, we'll fly a bit early. Okay. Let's start modifying. And we'll go with this, such that we can put a full Vega stage on. All right, so the renovation cost is really, really cheap because all we're doing is changing the pad. Oh yeah, I need to fix that. Right. Okay, we're gonna give it a bit more room to play with. Okay, and that will take a little while to build for sure, but later we should be able to renovate this up to 180 tons or something. Hopefully without changing the dimensions, and then have our like a workhorse launch vehicle for EO ComSats, other stuff. So let's do this renovation. That's pretty fast. $16 days. Squirrel, why are you regretting it? Because I'm pondering shutting down the Thor complex as well. Okay, there's all our engineers back. We didn't lose too much efficiency, that modification. I hate to break it to you, but a Delta II is, I think, heavier than Titan. Or Titan 1 at least. Yes. Yes, Delta II ranged from 152 tons to 286 tons. And was just shy of 40 meters. What the heck kind of Atlas do you have that's 150 tons? Oh yeah, and lowering the lift. I assume lowering the lift-off thrust-weight ratio down to the minimum. Like I wasn't thinking about why it's heavier. I was thinking about how do you have enough lift-off thrust. Oh, you've got casters. That explains. Yeah, if you're boosting it, then of course it's gonna happen. Ooh, huh. I better. That's a thing. I don't know if I check vessel stats on duplicate. That may be a way to get around some things. Okay, is this advanced enough to be reasonable again? Yes. Okay, cool. 300 units. Let's go. Oh yeah, if you have a human-rated Atlas-specific pad, then that works. Yeah, I have way fewer launch complexes than you do. Which is, I think, another reason why I'm faster than you are, because I had more efficiency gain than you have proportionally. Why does it have these parameters? That's stupid. Okay. Go a little higher. There's a research global efficiency sorry. Global efficiency is global engineer efficiency. There is only one research efficiency. Engineering has two efficiencies, global and per LC. We might as well go. I mean, there wasn't any way to rush science before either. If you mean like an equivalent of rush building. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, but like it's similar to before. Like you gotta pay to build a facility. Like it'll take a little while, but then you will have a higher cap. Like it's not like the tracking center where you're actually tech gated on the facilities. I mean, that's true, but if you compare the cost per build point versus the cost of hiring, it is cheaper to hire, such that eventually it is cheaper to buy the facility upgrade, and then you're no longer capped at that level. Like, basically you're having to pay engineering costs as well to increase your research rate, but like it's not like you're actually capped. Yes, the first upgrade is super cheap. I added an extra starting upgrade. And note that each upgrade, including the starting upgrade, gives you plus 20%. And that's multiplicative plus 20%. So the last plus 20% is actually quite a lot, unlike additive plus 25% from before. Yeah. The first, no, that's why you're hosed. Because the first upgrade is just about cap. It doesn't actually change. I guess it vaguely changes what cost, but like the upgrade that you're thinking of before that gated your tech nodes, that's the second R&D upgrade now, not the first. Yeah, like I was talking with Maximal, and we're seriously considering doing away with, and I think, oh, I guess I haven't yet, but we're thinking about doing away with the node cost limits in the R&D complex, and literally all it will do is cap your researchers. Because it's much more about a fixed cost for research infrastructure. That, like, what does it mean that you can't research a node until you've upgraded the R&D complex? Here we go. It's oh yeah, it's 2465, I think. A little far. Okay, vary the time. Bingo. Yeah, it's 2465 from 185, I think. But we're a little low. That is an interesting problem. It looks like the offset thrust fires up first or something, because we get a huge kick. When it comes time to do like Farside lander contracts, I might do stuff with like EML2, but not until then. Yeah, we overburned this time rather than underburning. I did not expect that. Five hours and 17 minutes. Something like that. And isn't the trick to go to ECEF? I think the trick is to go to ECEF. But I'm not good enough at reading noodles, so I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. Whoop, too far. That looks decent. Oh, shoot. I always forget to do that. Yeah. Seems good enough. What kind of DN are we talking about? 108. Oh, I was very wrong. Once again, I was flipped between the tangent and the normal, or binormal, I meant. Okay, getting there. Okay, that's better. Okay, so I think we'll just go ahead and the SpaceX launches I've seen that went to GTO definitely had a coast. So I don't know what. So no Mr. Bond, I'm not sure why that would be because the offset thrust and the main engine, like it's all one engine module, so it should be applying similarly to both. I think it's probably more that MechJeb is not applying the right amount of yaw or something during engine start. Because it assumes that the thrust isn't off center. Squirrel, going from the Cape, you have to coast. You can't dogleg and do that. That's, I mean, you can, but it's gobs and gobs of delta V. So, pretty sure SpaceX does not do that. Right, I forget that the peroxide is in the tank. That's why it's there. So the actual tracker is the helium, and we still have half the. All right, let's spin up and go. Wait, how did we get so off center? I spun up to 60 revolutions per second. How did we? That's bad. Yeah, why did we get... Was there a kick during decoupling, I guess? Not good. Yeah, and Squirrel, I'm saying that by definition that means that the majority of your impulse has to be near the descending node in terms of past, like definitionally, right? Like you're in a, like you can do something where you're in less than a full lower orbit and coast towards the descending node, but that involves going pretty high and then coming down again and accepting a bunch of steering losses. Like, you literally can't put your... You can't cross the equator at geostationary altitude unless either you launch supersynchronous or you are performing your perigee kick near the descending node. Yeah, it doesn't, okay. It thinks that that's too far off even for the loose parameter. All right, yeah, so there was some kind of weird kick. Decouple. Okay, so we're aligned there. This maneuver is instant and inertially fixed. Oh, did we just... We just lost comms. Great. Yeah, I mean, Squirrel, think about the mechanics of it. In order to pass the equator at geostationary altitude, one of three things has to be true. sorry, one of two things has to be true. Either your apogee is precisely at geostationary altitude, in which case your perigee has to be at the descending node. Let me back up. When you say crosses the equator at geostationary altitude, I assume what you mean is at geostationary altitude at a node, which is what crossing the equator is. Never mind, I'm talking gibberish. Yes, so one of two things has to be true. Either your apogee is precisely on the equator, or your apogee is higher than geostationary altitude, such that you either pass the equator going out to your apogee or coming back in. Okay, now we're better aligned. Let's try this. And in either of those cases, your apogee is higher, which means that you're going to have a radial component as well as a normal component and a prograde component to circularize at GEO, which means you're probably not actually going to want to fly that mission because it's a penalty on both the launch vehicle sending you to supersynchronous orbit and the payload to perform apogee kick. Okay, that's much closer. Yes. So not sure what happened before, but it's clearly something worked. It's using Altairs, which have a lower variance than the GCRCs. And yes, it's got 1837 meters per second approximately. It's 1840. Probably should have a little less. And assuming that I nail my maneuvers, like I know that the cost coming from a 28.5 degree orbit at 160 kilometers is going to be approximately 1830. Like in regular under stock patched conics, it's 1837 meters per second. Under Principia, I seem to be down. That was about 1833. But yeah, like the contract, it has wide enough bounds that you don't have to nail the period to the second. And as you saw, like the period was about 4 minutes too long, and the eccentricity was non-trivial, and my inclination was like 0.1 degrees, but that's within the bounds of the contract. That's fine. Got another one of those ready. Getting built. Okay, I really need another. Let's see. That's 34 days. That's 70 days. That's 70 days. I need another half year of research before I can properly build my probe. So we'll keep building this. I guess I want to hire some more researchers. Getting close to the cap. So we probably need to start building the next R&D complex. That's expensive. But pay as you go, so it's not that expensive in practice. And we can siphon some engineers away, which is sad because we'll lose efficiency. But to the weather contracts net. We'll wait a few days and compare. Yeah, that's a reasonable burn rate. God, that's pressing. It's forever. Because we also need to start this upgrading. I think I actually want to do it this way, because we can edit the solar panels. Probably can even launch without editing the solar panels. I also need to buy the next generation of comms. That costs a pretty penny. Why didn't that decrease my funds? Oh, no, it did. I'm not used to having this many funds, so 20K was trivial. I was looking at expecting 200K. Yeah, I'm really flush right now. Flush with cash. Let's see. Yeah, we need more science. Okay, so I think I want to launch just like a science satellite into polar orbit. Because I think we need more of the visible imaging stuff. Let's see. We have all of that. We have all of this. We don't have enough space low. Magnetic scan, we've completed everything around the Earth. Mass spectrometry, space low and high. Meteorite, we've done space low and high. Could fly another film mission. But that's going to be pretty expensive. Wait. Oh, that's 6.3x, not 0.3x. Okay, we've actually done space low. Okay.
Hey there.
Hello.
How you doing?
All right. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Trying to figure out where I can grab more science. Which I guess is going to be crewed space flight and let's look at what this lunar orbit is. Try to get to a lunar orbit and not get perturbed too much.
Look.
Thank you.
working on the contract stuff right now so that
Awesome.
I can play Factorio tomorrow guilt-free.
Sounds good. $400 by 112. Oh, it's actually stayed pretty frozen. That's cool. Wonder if I can get the lunar apogee down. Not apogee. Aposelene. Is there any way of telling how much propellant it's got left? Not sure. Probably pretty close to fumes. Let's switch to it and find out. And I've saved first because if I am on fumes, I don't want to try to reorient it. Three meters per second is not a lot of meters per second. So yes, I basically did get this down to fumes.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's actually slightly better than that because of the RCS is not emitted by the residuals, but it's pretty much down to fumes. So no, we are not really going to be able to reorient.
Is RCS not limited by residuals
because haven't written module RCS RF yet.
Gotcha.
Like it actually usually has much worse residuals than engines. Oh, right. We actually have a bunch of data. We just haven't transmitted it all yet because we're transmitting it at 1 bit per second. In Moonspace Lab. All right, so we actually do have all that data. It's just we haven't transmitted it yet. Okay. That's a better situation to be in. Cosmic ray. Oh yes, there's the. Yeah, okay, so there's going to be a while as we slowly transmit all that data. but these things are done pretty much. Okay, cool. Could fly film camera missions, but ain't nobody got time for that. Let's compare. Oh, nope, it still doesn't tell me. Okay, that tells me I can afford to hire some more people. Okay. So now we're actually starting to build rapidly. Still a shocking length of time to build that, but yeah. Okay. What else can I build here? I don't think I'm able to make a lunar lander work. Even with the increased mass there.
Have to build another LC.
No. Have to wait for something higher performance. I mean, I already just modified it from a max of 120 to a max of 150. Which would probably let me increase this from 300 to like 400 or 500 ComSat payload. Increase the ComSat contract payouts. But yeah, I guess if I'm not doing anything else with this complex, I might as well launch a film camera mission. Where's the more advanced weather? Anyway. Science. Oh, wait, right. I can't actually do this because of the electricity requirement. Better solar panels first. What I can do is send a probe interplanetary. That is what I can do. Because for that, all we need is digital comms. Science core. And we want solar panels. Oh, I bet I don't have access to that yet. I think I need the statics. Okay, and comms. So actually we want to flip this the other way around. experiments. Oh, we need eccentricity, which we're not going to get. Yeah, I'm not convinced that we'll be able to get
Get what?
the eccentricity we require.
Oh, you're going for more than just a flyby?
Oh, I'm just kicking us out of Earth's sphere of influence. Like,
Okay.
we don't have the solar, I don't think we have the solar panels that we'd want for a long duration mission. But yeah, I mean, maybe we could do it, but I think we want the better avionics.
What's the eccentricity you need?
0.04, which I guess I just like pile on the delta V and could do
I
that.
think you actually need that much delta V, particularly if you go, I mean, radial toward or away from the sun. Because you'll get a lot of extra, I mean, just a few hundred meters per second of extra side parabolic gives you quite a big kick.
I guess. Let me.
I mean, think about how cheap a Mars transfer is beyond hyperbolic. Like Mars transfer you get for 4 km/s, and that's only like, I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
600.
It's quite cheap.
Yeah.
All right. Mean is, let's claim 150. All right, so somewhere a perihelion of about 138 million kilometers. So, yeah, given that Venus is only 3530, it's not going to take much beyond. Yeah, all right, so we'll put those experiments in. They're 90-day experiments, but whatever. And lastly, we need science micrometeorite. Okay, let's start with everything on. And then barometer. Okay. Oof. 15 watts of sensors. And then 20 watts of comms. Oh, that's right. The other reason why I wanted a low eccentricity orbit was because I don't want to stray very far from Earth for the next 90 days. Given the extremely short range of the comms.
Yeah, what's your best range here gonna be?
Okay, so that's 1,000,000 kilometers. Then it drops to 0. Yeah, so we can't stray very far ahead or behind of Earth in its orbit.
Wait, 1,000,000 kilometers is the best you can do?
9.6 million kilometers.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad.
Yeah, so the active power is 30 watts.
What's your longevity on this probe gonna be like?
All right, so that's... So we need it to last 90 days for the experiments. So let's look at 90 days. Eh, 105 is fine. They're still outputting 30 watts each, so we don't need things that are this big. All right, 60 watts is going to be fine. Because we're using 40 watts to transmit and then 15 watts for sensors. Although some of that is short duration, so we're not actually going to use that much. So this is fine. We're at 62 kilograms, so we should be fine. Cool thing is, once we upgrade the tracking station, it'll be a little better. So somewhere around 17.5, 17.2, somewhere 17 million kilometers. Let's try. The heck? How did we switch to no connection? Oh, right, because this got undone. Yeah, this is much better. Alright, so somewhere around 77 million kilometers with the next level of tracking station. Cool. So by the time the probe gets that far from us, we'll have a better tracking station. Cool. And we also need get some retros on here. Oh, shoot, the solars just don't quite fit. It's annoying.
Shrink them a bit and do 6 of them.
I guess. Given that it's just a question of area, it doesn't really matter how many.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fits much better. Okay. So now we're up to 58 watts, and we're using 43. Yeah, so we just break even, basically. Because a lot of that, a lot of the burn rate will go down once we finish the magnetometer. Okay, cool. Let's do that. These. Retros. Astro's in the right stage. Okay. We do not need fairings that big. Let's see if we have a smaller version of these. And that's a kilometer per second more delta V than we need, really. So let's increase our electricity on here. Just in case. There. Go shorter. See if there's another size of these that are tooled. Yes, yes indeed. Okay. Okay. Seems fine. That's a lot of... We lost basically all the progress on it. Which is sad. But I guess that's only fair.
Yeah, that's a shame. I mean, you could try building separate and merging if you wanted to. Although,
no, I
really
can't.
do that with LCs, yeah.
All right, I'm going to duplicate it just in case it's a failure. That still doesn't have a option. This is still getting covered. Now let's compare. Oh, retirement. Oh, I guess you still have to be halfway into. Really? Yeah. I guess you have to be halfway into the cooldown before it generates any kind of reward.
Yeah.
Can fly one of these. Pays super well. All right, so this is at 19 and 36, 55. All right. So, yeah, way more fruitful to fly the geostationary stuff. I really think these should have separate cooldowns, even if the individual cooldowns are longer. So you're launching about the same number of missions total. It's just weird that it shares a cooldown.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially with like before, I think it made much more sense. But with launch complexes, it makes like they're literally different launch complexes used. So it's weird that you only can do one. But I am getting pretty tired, so I think I gotta call it quits. Thanks for coming by.
Oh, no problem. I didn't say much. Gonna be streaming tomorrow, you think?
Yeah, should be on tomorrow evening.
All right, I'm gonna run the contract stuff by you then.
Awesome, sounds good.
Okay, talk to you
Catch
later.
you then. And thank you to everybody watching, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Good night.